Saul and Battery, hosted by
Mike
and Kelly.
and VexX, Mike's third choice to have on any of his podcasts.
Forget what you know. Forget what you know. Saul and Battery.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Saul and Battery, where we recap the show. You may have noticed, for frequent listeners to the show, that we modified our entry music for today. Our good friend, Cobbler Wren, who now does all of our voiceover work, disclaimers and such, got him off of his busy squat order work and had him come in and do some voice work, which we seamlessly integrated into our song. So I hope you all enjoyed that.
You can hardly tell it's not the original vocalist.
It is. It's impossible. You know, he does have a bit of a distinctive voice, but it's still smooth. So I'm Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter.
I am Mike at Mike. Oh, wow. I almost said at my name because I'm always hearing at Kelly Toole, and that is not accurate. It's at Official Pagan on everything, including Snapchat, but please don't Snapchat me. Joining us tonight, as you may have figured out from the song, is our very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, my name is VexX. I'm a vocalist and a C actor. How are you?
That's right. Vex made his feature film debut last year in Faces of Snuff, which I'm sure you guys have all watched with the family.
I think Kelly gave it away as a Christmas present this year for everyone, didn't he?
That's right. Yes, it's I think it's a holiday classic pretty much now.
Well, let's not tell lies. Let's keep the truth between us, gentlemen.
It's a classic.
At any rate, we should get back to the show, shouldn't we?
Yes, indeed. And so just a little bit of a clarification on the VexX being Mike's third choice on podcast, because I was hoping to be pursued on that. Mike, I wanted to kind of check my order here. I'm pretty sure it's always like your BFF forever, Rebecca Kennedy's number one. Then clearly I'm number two, and then Vex. Is that just, can we go on record on that?
So here's what I love about this. He's trying to edge you out, Vex, and say that he gets on more podcasts than me, but he still throws in the bitterness of me and Rebecca Kennedy.
I don't know, man. I kind of nagged my way onto this. Let's be honest. Like, I'm a pretty big fan of this show, and how long does it take for me just to be invited to one episode? So I literally nagged Mike Monday. I was like, please let me on. So he's let me on. So thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
Super glad to have you. And so
Vex is the first guest we've ever had on this, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we hope things continue to get squared away, and we get Mel back in the mix on things. But it's always been just hosts. So yeah, you are officially the first guest, Vex. So congratulations on that.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
And while you're a huge fan of Better Call Saul, I'm fairly certain you're not as big a fan of a Saul and Battery, because have you seen any episodes of it or not? Or
No, not at all, sir.
Okay. Well, we start off with a what was originally a 1-minute recap of the episode that Mel did a great job on, Mike did a great job on, and I did not. And then Mike raised the bar this year, and we had to move it down to 30 seconds. And
wow.
Over time, we're getting decent at it. But unfortunately, I'm up this week. So we use our highly technical overlay here to get set. And
we spare no expense in the budget for the show.
That's right. Yeah, this is absolutely no expense. And we will get started here in a moment. Okay. Again, I'd like to point out Mike has it a lot easier when he does it. I hit the button. He just starts whenever he wants to. I've got to both hit the button and start much, much harder. Please keep that in mind. And we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Jimmy works at his underpants office for a 4x30 day. Nacho and Price reunite. There's a possible new celebrity couple, Makita. The price is not right for Mike. Kim needs a Snickers because she is chagrined. The three Filmigos are awesome. Mike's let Price know he's in. Jimmy and Kim talk about scams and regret. Mike mentors Nacho, and Jimmy's brother is totally chucked.
I like it. I like you threw in the power couple thing. I like it all. It's good.
I still think Mike gets the reward for power couple for connecting Howard and Chuck as
Coward. I actually forgot for a second because I knew you were going with that. I was like, oh man, what did I say?
That was awesome.
I don't have.
Cool.
This is the only show that I take notes for. So there's two shows I guess I prepare for. When we do the Alice Cooper things, I do prepare for that, and then this because I actually take notes for this. So I almost had to refer to my notes.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the opening scene, it's obviously where he went and he did his community service, but it's obviously very slow moving. Did anybody else get the impression it was a flashback or a flash forward to like after the whole thing? Remember when he was working in like the Cinnabon situation?
Yeah, for a second, I thought that's where we were starting with it. Until I saw the other people
That's
lined up.
exactly what I
next to
thought
him.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I was. I mean,
Well, no, you know what gave it away for me is that he looks so young.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's tough. I mean, because they play with time a lot on this show, and I mean,
Yeah,
they do
exactly.
help us out with Gene so far is always in black and white, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, so let's go ahead, and in fact, also as we go through this, if you happen to recall like a favorite quote through the show, be sure and kind of let us know. We like to kind of flag pick kind of like our favorite quote of the show at the point in which we talk about it. You'll hear us mention a couple, so if you want to weigh in on those, certainly feel free as well. But we come to the first scene like Vex talked about. They're gathering at the wall. It's a motley crew. And Jimmy wants to.
When it was him and the first guy there, I just instantly thought of Jay and Silent Bob and Clerks.
That's a good reference, actually. That's good.
It had that look, and then there's a fairly large fellow that joins the group that you don't want to mess with, and they go off and they're picking up garbage. And Jimmy's an effective multitasker because he's picking up garbage. He's scheduling commercials and he's working with the goddamn insurance company to try and get them to show some flexibility, and they're not budging on his malpractice insurance.
Well, I don't know about you, Kelly, but I have no problem with insurance companies. So I would just like to throw that out there.
You have always been the powerful voice to make sure we treat insurance companies right, Mike. I appreciate that about you.
I do what I can.
They're a misunderstood lot.
It's true. It's true. Now, before we go any further into the show, since we do have a guest on, it's our first guest. I'm going to veer off topic just for a second and ask, have either of you gentlemen ever had to complete community service?
Oh my God, no. I'm an upstanding citizen. Kelly, what about you?
You and I are a cut of the same cloth, Vex. Now, Mike, on the other hand, I expect has a rich and rewarding history in community service.
So I did.
I'm going to go off topic.
Yeah.
Mike's past is so colorful that this gentleman had his passport revoked for years from the federal government. And that's a true story. I'm not making that really happen.
That is true. My passport was seized by the government at one point.
Literally, we're talking to a terrorist right now. Right now.
So what's the community service to get your passport back anyway?
It's a lot.
A lot of oral copulation.
Yes. Yeah. I have tasted many in the government. No, I had to do community service, but it wasn't associated with anything court related. I went to Catholic school, and part of our graduation apparently was that we had to complete 40 hours of community service. And I, of course, being the upstanding, good Christian schoolboy that I was, didn't do it until like a week before the end of school. So I had to do.
No, since we're off topic, Kelly.
Sure.
Gentlemen, we still there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
So I also went to Catholic school for 12 years.
Mhm.
And Mike is the only person I know that actually molested a priest.
Wait, you're the only person you know?
Yeah, that molested a priest? Yes, Mike. Normally the priest did the molesting. You molested a priest.
I didn't molest a priest.
Where'd you put your hand on the back of his head? That's true, right?
Yeah, well, that wasn't a priest. That was a doctor. But he was in Catholic school, yeah. That's a different story. We're getting too far off topic.
Sorry, Kelly.
Yeah, not a problem. So I don't think anyone will actually believe in listening to this episode that all three of the participants are Catholic school graduates. But anyway,
True story, though, right? Sad but true.
it's all true. But
Baptist and Roman Catholic school for me. So
it's like country and Western.
See, you're a traitor. I can't. We have both kinds of music.
So I'm sorry that it took us off. I was just really curious, and I thought too, because I normally watch these on Tuesdays, but I watched this one today, knowing that Vex was coming on the show. That was the first thing that popped in my head when he was doing his community service. Like, I have to ask if these guys have ever done community service.
Never. Nope.
I'm a business owner. No, me and Kelly have like normal lives.
Me too.
Yeah, Mike. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. So at the end of this issue, Saul or Jimmy rather heads back, and he has done more than any of these other slugs. He's got 2 full bags of garbage, but he only gets credit for 30 minutes of work for 4 hours of time. And the guy helpfully offers to make it 0, which we hear a couple times in this episode.
That's the quote, though. That's the best part of the episode, hands down. Could have been 0.
Yeah, that was solid. Then that was a runner. That was my top pick until we get to this next scene, and then it was unseated. So we come back, and we've got Jimmy's now back from his community service and very quickly he does the old wet wipe shower. His Esteem won't start, and then it finally does. And he's at Duke City Recliners, which, I have a bit of a problem hearing, I guess.
All right, so before you get into that, though, I got to throw in one thing here.
Yeah.
The only problem I had with your recap is how did you not make a Clark Kent joke?
That would have been good. Yeah, that would have been good.
Plus, we've all done the wet wipe bath, right?
No.
Today?
Again, no.
Not today.
Not me.
You did it after your community service and the whole doctor issue and all that.
So in a lot of ways, Mike is our our Sherpa into the darker side of life. That's what this happened.
Yeah. That's helpful because we need that insight, and Mike can bring it since you and I, Vex, don't have that frame of reference, but Mike certainly does. So, was it? I don't know if it was last episode or not, but when I heard Hector kind of show up at Gus's place and he's talked to Hector's manager, I thought he said, "Show me your balls" or something along those lines when he was actually saying, show me your boss. He wanted to do that. So I had that problem again on this episode when they started this scene filming it. I thought this was Dick City Recliners, not Duke City Recliners.
I think, Kelly, this show is making you confront some things about yourself you weren't ready to before.
I guess.
It's very phallic, sir. It's very phallic.
It would have been my recap would have gone an entirely different direction if it had been Dick City Recliners. So, but
do you have this problem at work ever? Like, are you ever in meetings and you're like, "Did you just ask to see my balls?"
Yeah. I'm gonna go with no, because even if I did have that question, I'd probably not pursue it further at that point.
You're like, I'm just gonna pretend that they didn't ask me this incredibly inappropriate thing.
That was the longest no I've ever heard in my life. You were like, "I'm going to go with no."
No, gotta go with no. That's the right answer here. And back, possibly. Next to the Kettlemans, my favorite characters, Jimmy's film crew. I love Jimmy's film crew.
Now, see, I'm in the music business, so I hate his film crew because they remind me of everybody I know. I'm like, oh, not again.
See, that's why I love his film crew, though, because it is accurate.
It is accurate. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and especially, spoiler coming up here a little bit. They apparently have some, at least the tall ponytail guy has a hard time making distinctions between Deep Purple and Pink Floyd, but we'll
I have so much to say because Vex is on the show. So much to say about that when we get to it.
So they film the recliner. Jimmy's still trying to sell more commercials. That's not going anywhere. he kind of settles up with Kim. Kim's worried that he's draining his bank account. We all kind of know he probably is. He says, "Nah, he's fine." And then we cut back to our good friend, the father of the name of this show, Price, Squat Cobbler Price, that pie-sitting maniac, shows back up coming home, and Nacho is sitting in his house. And this is where my quote of the show comes from. Is I think Nacho says we need to talk, and then Price responds back, "Is that like code for stealing my baseball cards?" Because he's still a little bitter about that. I love seeing this is such a great segment because the film crew I love, and Price is awesome.
He's a great character. I do wish somewhere in the show, though, there was a Squat Cobbler reference.
Well, we're not done. Jimmy may have to cross paths.
True.
So we can hope for that. So we'll have to see. I guess on the Blu-ray edition for season 2 of Better Call Saul, they actually do have that actor doing Squat Cobbler videos. There's actually,
Jesus Christ, are you serious?
Yeah, the one that Jimmy filmed.
That's
supposed to be on there.
That's amazing.
Yes, I got to get that. Totally got to get that.
That is going to be the hottest thing that I own.
We'll play it on infinite loop. Anything else on this segment, gents, you want to talk about?
No, I don't think. I was just excited to see him.
Yeah, Bex, anything else on this particular segments and stuff you want to talk
about? Didn't he have a yellow Hummer previously? Isn't that what Price was driving?
Yes.
Yeah, which he had to give up his Nacho.
It's gone though, right? Like.
Yeah, no, he had to give that up to Nacho, and Nacho probably took it to a chop shop. So, yeah, I don't know what he's driving now, but it's not real impressive.
I would like to think that Nacho gave it to his dad.
A good, upstanding man.
Yes, he is, without a doubt. Okay, we come back, and Mike is busily working in the playground doing footers after he apparently had to pull some cash. By the way, so Vex, you said before the show started, you said you had not watched Breaking Bad at all before you started watching Better Call Saul?
That's exactly right.
Have you started watching Breaking Bad?
Oh, no, I crushed it because, with Netflix, you can binge watch anything. So I watched season 1 of Better Call Saul. I fell in love with it, obviously. And then I watched the whole thing. So now all the references that are seeping in make a lot more sense, obviously.
Excellent. Yeah, because and some of these characters that show up. So that's great because I did want to get both of your opinions on this beginning part. When it comes to storing money underneath a house, I think Mike totally kicks Walt's ass. Much neater, much better organized than Walt's approach to.
See,
to
he's supposed to be. He's a cop from Philadelphia, and I'm telling you, I'd have found that money. Because the first thing you do is you knock out the moldings. It's the first thing you do.
So Kelly, where do you hide money in your house? You're illicitly
obviously under the home. That's what he does. That's his thing.
Right. We've got a crawl space, and it's not all currently being used for other purposes. So I have a money section in the crawl space.
Nice.
And lots of loot crate boxes. Old loot crate boxes is another great place to start. So Mike's working on the playgrounds and people, and he meets Anita. And do we think we have a little bit of a romance developing here, gentlemen?
It's very obvious. That's going to be his booty call. It's very, very obvious.
I was just excited because I'm like, it's the lady from Law and Order. I'm sorry that I don't know that actress's name.
Law and Order lady is fine. I think we can go with that.
I was excited by that, but no, I'm glad that Mike is going to get some sweet love in this season. That's the sex scene we've all been waiting for. Let's be honest.
Oh man, I do not want to see that. I think sometimes things are best inferred. Kind of. You
don't want to see Mike's vinegar strokes?
No,
not at all.
All right, this is a long reference, but do you guys remember Sin City, the film?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the deformed son who was filled with all the medicine that Bruce Willis shot off his testicles?
Yes.
That's what Mike looks like to me in my mind. Like Mike looks like that deformed guy.
When he's finishing?
Just in general.
Oh.
That's what he looks like.
Again,
Mike's a lot
Mike.
of things. Good looking's not one of them.
You need to raise up to Vex and my level, Mike. Come out of the gutter. Come up to us here.
I'm sorry.
That's terrible. Goodness. So now I'm all Twitter here. So we've got Price shows back up trying to pitch Mike to do the backup thing. Mike is totally not interested. Then Kim has a meeting with her friends at Mesa Verde.
An angry meeting, though. An angry meeting.
Yeah, she's throwing the book down and said, "Look it up yourself," and not happy, not happy at all. And then we kind of get a picture at the end that she's kind of a little bit torn up on how they treated Chuck, and says all we did was
Most definitely
tear down a sick man, which I disagree with. They tore down a butt wipe. You know,
Why do you disagree?
I don't think Chuck's got a problem, but I don't think that's an excuse for being an asshole. And Chuck's,
I don't know, man.
Whoa,
it's
watch your
slipping Jimmy,
language.
though.
Come on.
This isn't-
Sorry, Mike.
I don't know. I think Chuck is a misunderstood character. I feel bad he's mentally ill. He's obviously a brilliant attorney, and his brother is literally slipping Jimmy. Like, how do you take that guy seriously as a lawyer? You know what I mean? Like, I could see why that would bother him.
I feel like I would want Saul as my lawyer over Chuck.
Oh,
Well,
you
from-
lose. Chuck would crush him.
Yeah, I think for most of the things that Mike's going to need a lawyer for, Jimmy's probably better.
I found that hooker dead already.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The Magna Carta reference keeps ringing in my mind over and over again that this guy really is. You know what I mean? Like, that's how he remembers dates, like historical documents and historical wars and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy thinks the Magna Carta was one of the ships the Pilgrims came over on. So,
See, I feel like I get Jimmy. You guys just don't get Jimmy the way that I do.
no, I get. I'm with
I own
you.
a
Go ahead, Vex.
I don't know. I own a roofing company. I know a lot of Jimmys. They're not nice people. Just saying.
But are they funny? Because Jimmy's hilarious.
Yeah, no, roofers are funny. I mean, they're on drugs and they fall off roofs and balance and stuff, but they're funny.
It's the oldest trick in the book. It's funny stuff. So we come back again.
Well, I don't know anything about drugs. I would like to just state that because this is a live show.
Thank you, Mike.
I've been clean and sober for my entire life. So
Really? Because I have 4 decades of sobriety. What about you, sir?
I've been clean and sober for a long time.
Can you
About
define
75 minutes now.
It felt like a long time.
At least since last night. So
There you go. Well, that's uninterrupted since last night.
more or less.
Yeah, for at least 6 hours each night. I'm good. All right. So Jimmy, we cut back again, and again Jimmy's doing the Clark Kent wet wipe cleanup, and he's a lot dirtier
Oh,
this
you can't
time.
steal my reference now.
Okay, fine. So Jimmy utilizes wet wipes again to clean himself before going to his next shoot, and there is just a lot of funny going on in this guitar store.
Oh, the comedians, the twin comedians, yes.
Yeah. The twin comedians are there. They're awesome.
But
The
before
film
we get to
crews-
that, we should mention that guitar that's for sale that Jimmy Saul takes note of. It's signed by Richie Blackmore. Now, for the kids who don't know, that is Candace Knight's guitar player. And he used to be in the band.
Keep going. You started it.
I know. And he used to be in another band that a guy that Vex and I both know was a big fan of. So, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, Vex and I are
Black Sabbath is.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Vex and I are
I
not.
have no comments there.
Vex and I are not huge Deep Purple fans, and someone was once trying to convince us otherwise by using the foolproof argument of, but have you heard the new Deep Purple?
I take it that did not win
Here's
the
a
day.
question, Kelly. Did you know there was a new Deep Purple? There's new material from Deep Purple. They're 85 years old. They still record. How cool is that?
Is there any original member left in the people that are calling themselves Deep
No,
Purple?
not at all. No, no.
Is there anybody original left in Deep Purple?
Considering that Deep Purple has had 75 retreads, no. There is no one
can't
original.
be, right? And I know Richie Blackmore is not
It's like
even a part of it. He's playing for Candace Knight's band.
Part of rock and roll. Oh my God, you're such a dick.
And they're like that. And here we're going to get Alice Cooper's next release in July, a mini EP with the surviving members of the original Alice Cooper group. So
I'm really excited about that.
I am too. Super. I'm looking forward to that. And the Paranormal, the main album sounds pretty promising as well. So
have you heard anything off of it? I haven't.
I have not. I just the article you mentioned where they kind of started to step through what's on there sounds like crazy awesome, as we expect from Alice these days. But they don't know who Deep Purple is. Young Friends Coppola doesn't care. The ponytail guy isn't really clear on the difference between Deep Purple and Pink Floyd and The Wall. And the guitar guys, the guitar comedians don't want to do the commercial, and Jimmy shoots it for free. Not a great negotiation.
Murder, She Wrote was the time slot. Murder, She Wrote.
So do you think you can sell guitars on a Murder, She Wrote time slot, Vex?
I cannot, sir. I cannot.
I think they probably
I thought the Jimmy sales pitch was pretty good. Like, you need to shoot for that grandma buying presents demographic.
Which he came up with quick.
I mean, you guys want to discuss the retail guitars, because we can discuss it.
Go right ahead.
What?
The reality of retail guitars, like those presents that the grandmother buys, you make like no money. You need someone to buy like a real guitar that costs like $3,000 or $4,000, and then you make money. Grandmom's not buying that.
If your grandmother really loved you, she would.
Yeah, keep lying to yourself. They were from the Depression, man. That's not going to happen.
We cut back to the therapy session where Mike and Anita are getting even a little bit more chummy. Apparently her husband was a Navy man. Mike kind of perked up when he heard she kept his uniform. But he died under mysterious circumstances, and she just wishes she knew how. The end of the scene, Mike walks out, and as he does in Breaking Bad, he gives a call and just basically says, "I'm in." So he's gonna, now the team of Price and Mike are back together again. Isn't that going to be awesome? So my assumption is Mike has decided I need more money so that I can go Columbo this 7 to 10-year-old death of a guy hiking. Is that where your guys' head's at or not?
You kind of broke up for me, so I didn't hear exactly the whole thing. I'm sorry.
No problem. So I'm thinking that this basic storyline here is Mike is he says he's in for Price because he needs more money so that he can kind of do the Columbo thing and find out how Anita's husband died. And then she'll be thankful, and then hopefully we'll get an off-screen thank you scene.
I didn't see it that way at the time. What you're saying makes sense, and I really like it. I didn't see it that way. I just kind of thought he's the kind of guy that he wants the excitement in his life. That's kind of what I saw as like the angle. Plus, he spent all that money on the supplies, if you remember, for the concrete.
That's true.
Yeah, I kind of took it as he was going to use that money to go and try and figure something out. Do you think they're going to go the route of him getting involved in whatever led to the disappearance? Like, is he going to like track down his murderer, or is the guy alive and hiding somewhere? Like, is it going to be more involved than Mike trying to get laid, basically?
I guarantee somehow it's the cartel that killed him by mistake. I guarantee it.
That would make sense to keep it with the world of the show.
Yeah, he's going to find the body, and it's going to be all rubber banded up, and he's going to go, "It's Hector." And all Hector does is rubber band stuff.
Rubber band.
Maybe that's it too.
Reference.
Maybe when she said where he disappeared, he's already associated that with the cartel somehow, and we just haven't put that together yet.
That's possible.
I just want to see the Mike sex scene. Whatever gets us there.
I do not.
How am I alone in this?
You are.
Yeah, you're a deviant. That would be why, sir.
So then we come back after that, and Jimmy and Kim she's tired after a long day. Says, "Come on out." So they go to a bar. They start kind of plotting some of the scams they might look to pull. I think Kim's trying to do it in good fun, and you can tell there's a deeper and deeper undercurrent of bitterness and frustration with Jimmy, and him having all kinds of plans. And it kind of ends up with Kim saying, "Couldn't we have done this another way?" And Jimmy's like, "Nope, we did it the only way we could." Now, I saw on Twitter a number of people say,
guys, my best friend Rebecca Kennedy is on Facebook Messenger, so I have to go and say hi.
Okay, go right ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, but I did want to jump in and say, did you feel like Kim is going to start moving away from him, seeing more of like the completely amoral Saul taking over?
I'm not talking to you the rest of this episode. Why'd you ask Rebecca? See what she
Kelly. So Kelly. Here's the thing. Does Kim outlast the season, or does she separate from him before the end of the season? We only got 3 episodes left.
I will not be surprised if that by the end of the season she's out of the picture, because I'm
kind of with you because that whole like Saul Good, man, when he introduced that character, it was like dun 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 foreshadowing, you know.
Yeah. I think she's not completely down with that, and I think she's not okay with Jimmy completely locked into who cares about Chuck at all. She's feeling some regret, but so I think there's a lot of things starting to pull at that relationship. So we shall see. And then finally we come to the last scene where Nacho and Mike, which any scene with these 2 actors I'll watch forever. They're both awesome. Mike's providing some mentoring to Nacho on if he's going after Hector, how to do it. And then he ends it up with, "And I'm going to need one more thing from you." Mike says that to Nacho. Any guesses? Because I have none. What additional thing Mike needs from Nacho?
Truthfully, no idea. Like it kind of. I mean, that's what they do. It's a cliffhanger. It's the whole point. So I have no idea. Kelly, I was really hoping you'd have something actually.
I got absolutely nothing on this. It was like, "Hey, did you see a dead Navy guy anywhere?"
I guess that's what it's got to be, right? That's what it's got to be.
It's a bit of a stretch. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, about 7 years ago, I saw a dead Navy guy. Great. Mike, you got any theories?
Well, Rebecca thinks.
Yeah, I was talking to Rebecca about this.
I definitely think it's going to be somehow related to the missing Navy guy. Talking it out with you guys on this, I think maybe him disappearing in that particular area has, for whatever reason, Mike's making association there. For whatever reason we don't understand yet. So he's going to ask him if he knows anything about that area. Have the cartel used that area or gotten rid of people?
I mean, for all we know, the guy could be collateral damage. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think it's going to be like he was involved with the cartel. I think it's going to be something like, he just happened upon something you shouldn't have.
Sure.
Or he slipped and fell. I just don't think that's a possibility. The guy was out hiking.
Or he faked his own death.
There's no, it's not that clean though, because I had so much. That would be amazing.
And Mike tracks him down and kills him.
He faked his own death and he's Gus. That's what it is.
Fucked your chick.
All right, then we cut back to Jimmy, who has now gone to the insurance company. Mike, big insurance company fan, and
True.
He's trying to to get him to kind of, hey, I'm not practicing anymore. How about you let me out of the rest of this? It's pretty expensive. They explain it doesn't work that way. And by the way, when you do start paying again, it's going to be 150% more, which is, just a real nice finish to the day for Jimmy. So he starts, I believe, to somewhat legitimately break down. And then as he's going through, he starts to realize, well, if my rate's gone up 150, I wonder how much I can jack Chuck's up, and pretty much lays out for her. Boy, he broke down on the stand. It's in the transcript. He kind of gives her all the working material that she needs to further investigate Chuck, and kind of walks out of that room with not the most pleasant look on his face.
When he started to get emotional, he got me. I bought into it. I was like, oh my God, he's really upset, right? And then as soon as he started talking about Chuck, I knew instantly the entire thing was a ploy. Like Kelly, you said he was sort of breaking down. Not at all. It was all a ploy just to mess with Chuck.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. It could have been right at the beginning, early or late, but he definitely, by the end, it was surgical that he kind of laid it out really, really well there. And
he turned off the emotion like a switch. He walks out of the room and he's like, ha! Gotcha. You know what I mean? He makes that face.
Yeah, kind of a combination sneer, grimace, angry face, and then a little bit of a smile right at the very end. So it was kind of cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got to go with Vex on this one. I think once he realized that there was nothing he was going to do to be able to save himself, he just completely formulated the plan to take Chuck down. Or I agree with whatever Becca thinks if it's different than that.
Yeah. And since I stopped listening to you early in this thing, did you provide us a quote, or did you?
No, my quote is whatever Rebecca wants it to be. But my quote for this episode was in this scene where he says how lovable he is, because obviously I could relate to that.
Wow.
Possibly the most egotistical selection of a quote of the show so far. So we know that.
I was like, Jimmy gets me.
Yeah. Jimmy gets me. That's a tattoo. Get that as a tattoo. Jimmy gets me.
I can't. Doing a podcast with Kelly has already led to a tattoo I'm getting of Alice Cooper's song lyrics. So
there you go.
Yeah, the entire set of lyrics from "No More Love at Your Convenience." He's going to do across his back. So.
Oh wait, on his back?
Yeah.
See, you can't. My back is already covered.
It'll be an overlay. a star All right. So the other thing then, and for any listeners of the show who we've been promising for a while that we would post our chart of this, it is actually out on the blog, and I will update it after this show and put out a new version. Vex, what we do at the end, and this comes back to kind of a question you asked a little bit earlier about Kim, is we're kind of doing a likelihood that they're going to die estimate, and the characters, we started doing it for Kim from the beginning, and then we added somewhat about middle of the season so far here, Lyle, the store manager, the kind of earnest store manager from Gus. We kind of felt like he was a marked man, so we decided to add him. So we're kind of doing on a scale of 0 to 100, where 100 is they're absolutely going to die. There's a 100% chance they're going to die, to 0 that they're going to rainbows and unicorns and everything's wonderful for them. We're doing that. The latest rankings we had coming off of Off-Brand, the previous episode, Mike had Kim's likelihood of demise at 75%. I had her at 62. So let's just start with Kim. Mike, where would you like to put Kim after this episode?
I'm going to keep her exactly where I had her, because I think what we're going to see in the end of this season, probably into the beginning of the next season, is Kim distancing herself more and more from Jimmy, which is going to keep the character alive a little bit longer. But ultimately, she will die by the end of the show.
So I'm going to disagree. I'm going to pull her back. I had her at 62. I'm pulling her back to 55 because I just am getting the sense that she's going to, at some point, say, I've had enough of this Jimmy McGill guy, and she's going to take herself out of the picture. The more she stays with Jimmy, the bigger risk there is. Bad things will happen. If she gets away, I think she'll be okay. So,
you know what just occurred to me? You know what I would love to see? If Kim doesn't die, right? If it's just that she completely withdraws from Jimmy's life as he turns into Saul, what if in one of the flash forward or present day or whatever you want to call it scenes where he's at the Cinnabon, what if he runs into Kim there?
That's what I'm
Different
really
state.
hoping
It'll
for.
never happen. Different state.
Kim with her whole brood coming in. She married Howard. She totally crushed Gene. So Vex, you want to throw if you had to throw a likelihood of Kim not making it out of this season alive, you want to throw a number out there?
Yeah, she's going to make it. I give Kim 25%. She's going to survive everything. She's going to beat everybody.
We got you on there then. She will like seeing a low number, I bet. That's good. So
Chuck's my guy. Chuck's the one who's going to die.
We haven't had Chuck on here. That maybe we may have to add him. But we do have Lyle, and Lyle again is that store manager who last he knew, Gus said, well, this Hector guy, you just need to talk tough to him and he'll go right away. It's like a signature for death. And so Mike and I have had him at 98 and 97% pretty consistently since he showed up, even though he's not been in any other episodes. I'll go first on this, Mike, because I'm going to make a big shift here. I had Lyle at a 95%, 97% chance that he was not going to make it. I'm pulling him down to 40.
Wow.
What was the change there?
Because Nacho's going to make Hector a non-issue.
But that's not accurate. Hector lives on. We know that.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to take Lyle out in a wheelchair and a bell.
I don't know, man. A real boss is you push a button. You don't do any work. You just make a phone call. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but who's he got? His main guy is now Nacho, and Nacho wants to kill him. So,
right.
I'm staying by my 40. Mike, you got him at 98.
I'm going to keep him there. I really think the next time we see this guy, he's going to get killed.
Okay. All right. I mean, they did spend a lot of time with him. They did, it was that kind of get to know this guy well because he's going to go. But I'm going to take a shot here. So Vex, Lyle, we have very differing points of view. Mike's got him at 98% chance of fatality. I have dropped precipitously down to 40%. You want to throw a Lyle number out?
Yeah, I'm conservative. I'll say 65, but I don't think he's going to go, to be honest with you.
Cool. All right. Well, the master spreadsheet has been updated, and I will get the new version of that out from there. Excellent. All right, gentlemen. Anything else for this week? First of all, Vex, thanks for joining us. And you are more than welcome, my friend, to any future episodes. So long as Rebecca Kennedy's not available, you are welcome to join us.
It's good to be the number 3 seed. Yeah, I'm like your third stringer. No problem. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
That's good.
The important takeaway is that neither one of you guys are Rebecca Kennedy. So.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I can support that. Cool. Well, hey,
neither are you, so we're good with that.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's true. And I think it's I think it's more out of pity that Rebecca's kind to you. That's my official position. I'm not saying that's not the same reason she's not nice to me, but I'm just saying.
You just think it's more pity, maybe mixed with fear.
Yeah, I think your cocktail's a pity fear cocktail. I'm more a pure pity cocktail. So. And with that, hey folks, more on Rebecca Kennedy next week, but we're going to go and wrap up Saul and Battery and look forward to catching everybody actually not next week, because there is no Better Call Saul on Memorial Day, which is a crime. But it'll be 2 weeks. But then we'll come back and we'll talk about it again. So, yeah, Bex, let's just stay in touch and figure out if you'd like to come on again for the next one or at the end of the season or whenever you'd like to do. Would love to have you back on.
Thank you, guys. I'd love it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.